What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a little Jays talk. Today what we're going to talk about is the shift in the air with the Toronto Blue Jays. 15 games above 500, 3.5 games up on the division. And we knew coming into this year, just with the contract situation of our management team, that they would likely be fairly aggressive at this deadline. They don't want to whimper off into the sunset, get fired at the end of the year, and go out without a bang, basically. So we knew they would be tempted to be aggressive. What we're seeing right now out of this Blue Jays team on the verge of 10 straight wins, basically the best first half of a season that the Blue Jays have ever had, definitely since 92, is we're seeing a situation where they're pretty well forced to go out and address any shortcomings this team has and buy in for the sake of the players too. The players have been playing their butts off. Everyone's contributing. All the injuries, all of the funny lineups that we've been laughing at all year long. You know, every time the Blue Jays lineup gets posted, there's fans going, I can't believe you're doing X, Y, Z with this lineup. And then they just go out there and they continue to win. So the management now owes it to the players to shore up and get ready for a playoff push. You've got a real chance at taking the division now for the first time in a decade. And they've also got a real chance at being one of the top two seeds in the AL. The AL seems very attainable right now. And that is why I think we will see a very aggressive push, much more aggressive than I even envisioned coming into this year. I've been an optimist for the last couple of years, definitely a lot more positive than a lot of the fan base has been. And even as a bit of an optimist, I never saw this coming. I never saw them doing as good as what they're doing right now. And I think that it's probably surprised everybody internally as well, but we're seeing names go out there now like Freddie Peralta, Ryan from Minnesota, Jacob deGrom in Texas. And I think we are, in fact, going to see a big swing now. It's leading to a lot of debate amongst the fan base about, do you trade Arjun Namala? Do you trade Trey Savage? Anybody like that? And I don't think that anybody can be off limits or untouchable at this point if it means you're getting the right piece back. Now, I wouldn't flip those guys just for anybody. It's not one of those things where, it's just a prospect, you go out and get a regular player. I wouldn't do that, especially with the top two. But if you can get somebody with control, like a Joe Ryan from the Minnesota Twins, who I think he has 2 or 3 more years after this one in arbitration. If you can go out and get an ace like that with multiple years of control afterwards, and he's a good age, he's younger than the rest of our rotation, I don't care who you have to ship out in that deal. I am doing that 10 times out of 10 because it moves the needle this year in a real, noticeable, tangible way. He is your game one starter. He can go up against a Skubal, anybody that anybody else can throw out there, a Framber Valdez, whoever you go into game one against. Yeah, he's probably not as good as Skubal, but he can go up against them and he can match that ace level performance, which we currently don't have. Right now you're going Jose Barrios, Kevin Gausman, and while they can have outstanding games and they can help get us to the playoffs for sure, I don't know about you, but I don't have that faith in them in a game one situation. You're hoping with them. With a guy like Ryan, I feel like there's a lot more certainty there. And you know that for the next at least 3 seasons, 3 playoff pushes, you've got your guy at the top of the rotation that you can then continue to build around. So it's a buy-in for today, but also for the future. In that sort of a deal, I would be more than happy to give up a top prospect like Arjun Namala and like Trey Savage. So that's where I'll leave off today. I just wanted to highlight the shift in the fan base, first of all, but also with the way the team has gone, how aggressive I think this management will be at the deadline. Now that there is a true, clear path to contention. I'm not going to count the Yankees out of this. I'm not going to count the Rays out of this. We will be fighting tooth and nail with them right up until the last day of the season. I'm sure of it. They are not going to go down easy. But we've separated the 3.5 games now. We can finish strong against the White Sox and then the Athletics heading into the All-Star break. You come out of the All-Star break with a tough schedule, and I think that we are going to do everything in our power to bolster this lineup and for the players' sake, buy in aggressively. So if you'll remember my video even just a week or two ago, I was like, they'll probably go after a number 3, a number 4, a bottom of the rotation guy. I think that target is really starting to lift up to the top of the rotation arms, and I think that they are going to be incredibly aggressive trying to get that number 1, number 2 type pitcher for a playoff series now that it's a little bit more clear that we should be there come September, come October. Anyways, let me know your thoughts below. Love to hear from you guys. Have a good one.